Welcome to the ArmaniTalks YouTube channel. I'm your host, ArmaniTalks. In this channel, I'm helping you level up your communication skills. This episode is going to discuss brainstorming and 4 innovative methods on how to do it. Brainstorming is the ability to create new ideas without the fear of judgment. The latter part of the definition is what's holding a lot of people back. They think they could generate new ideas, but each time that they try to do it, each time they're focusing more on the outcome rather than the process. Brainstorming is all about the process. And the more that you can focus on the process over the outcome, the less fear that you have. Unfortunately, for a large period of our lives, we were taught to weigh the outcome over the process. You don't get weighed for how long you study for the exam. You get weighed for whether you got an A or a B. And for certain families, anything below that is seen as uncharted territory. This is why I want to give you 4 innovative methods on how to change your perspective, and each of these methods will suit your personality type. So no need to commit to one that isn't working for you. Find out what makes you feel comfortable, then double down on that. If you're ready for method number 1, go ahead and drop that like for me right on below. Mumbling. That's method number 1. Mumbling is a great way in order to be a much more better brainstormer, because with communication skills, when we're speaking, mumbling is bad, mainly because we're not committing to a sentence. But this is a weapon with brainstorming because we're not committing. Whenever we're not committing to an idea, we're much more flexible. We could play around. Just for the sake of example, let's say right before I started to record this video, I give myself a topic. And a quick little warning, you always need to give yourself a topic before you start brainstorming. Otherwise, you're just going to be spinning in circles, also known as anxiety. Always give yourself a topic. So right before I started recording this video, I was like, brainstorming, something very general. The more general, the better, because the more that you can be dynamic. And then I started to mumble this YouTube video into existence. Okay, to talk about what is brainstorming. Okay, point 1, no, not point 1, point 4, okay, point. And as I'm mumbling, I'm capable of molding this talk in real time. This can work with writing, this can work with speaking, it could work with anything. This is the one time that mumbling is a good thing. That's method number 1. Method number 2 is what I call the whiteboard method. Did you ever notice that a lot of disciplined people and a lot of high performers have a whiteboard, but they never bring it up unless you ask them? And a lot of them, if you ask them, they'll blatantly lie and tell you they don't have one. The reason that a lot of these people act like this is because they use their whiteboard as a brainstorming session. And a lot of the ideas on their whiteboard is very embarrassing. But they understand that if they want to brainstorm correctly, they can't fear judgment so much. So they assign themselves a topic, and then they start putting out idea after idea after idea. The more ideas that they're generating, the more that they're seeing that all it takes is one idea to solve a crucial problem. So with the whiteboard method, just go on Amazon, buy a whiteboard, get the marker, get the eraser, and start picking your topic and generating ideas with a completely open mind. There's no such thing as a good idea or a bad idea when you're creating ideas. Every idea will help you out. That's method number 2. Method number 3 are conversations. You ever heard the quote that poor people talk about other people, average people talk about events, and great people talk about ideas? That last line is a big fancy way of saying that great people brainstorm. If you have great friends, people that talk about ideas, try to articulate a business venture or some sort of speech that they have coming up, continue to talk to them. Better yet, every now and then, you want to ask for feedback, and you want it to be respectful, of course. But as they're giving you feedback, and as you're bouncing your ideas off of them, you're brainstorming in real time. This allows you to not only exercise your social skills, but you're building your creativity as well. Along with the creativity, you Both may generate an idea which will help you out in the long term. And every now and then, you could add more people into the mix. That's when you turn a conversation into a mastermind. But the more that you articulate with other people, the more that you brainstorm and keep your idea muscle strong. That's method number 3. Method 4 is very counterintuitive, and it may seem very different from the initial definition that I gave. This is when you create a high pressure situation, and sometimes these high pressure situations may make you fear judgment. Let's say you're an author that currently is struggling to create a new book idea. You want to give yourself a certain time limit of a high pressure situation. This is when you're creating the scenario of, okay, if I don't generate this new idea ASAP, my publisher is going to drop me. My fans are going to start turning on me and be like, we're going to the next author. And that person at least releases 1 book a year. My wife is going to leave me. My kids are going to hate me. All that kind of stuff. Put it all into this high pressure situation. But don't stop there, because high pressure without action equals anxiety. High pressure plus action equals creativity. So as you create this high pressure situation, you could either mumble out different ideas which help you with the book idea, or you could use that whiteboard and write it down. But the higher pressure of the situation that it is, ironically, the less you fear judgment, the more that you embrace this moment. These are just 4 different ways that you can get started with brainstorming today, and I highly recommend that you make this a lifestyle. An idea a day keeps the doctor away. And if you're a content creator of some sort, or a person who is consistently creating something of value every single day, the more that you slowly start to incorporate brainstorming into your life. Did you want to know something? The more that you actively incorporate brainstorming into your life, the more that you edge out anxiety from your life. So you're killing multiple birds with 1 stone, way more than 2. Trust me on that. So brainstorm, practice, generate more ideas. The more ideas that you generate, the more ideas you keep creating, and the more abundance mindset that you have regarding the most mysterious things out there. Innovative insights. If you enjoyed today's episode and you want more practical tips like this into the world of communication skills, be sure to join me on my free daily newsletter, which goes out every single day at 7 p.m. Thousands of people have subscribed. What are you waiting for? Join the tribe by checking out the link in the description box or the pinned comment right on below. And thank you for joining the Armani Talks YouTube channel.